What's going on, everybody? I'm Primal Liquid and welcome to my guide for Atelier Ryza. And in this video I'm going to be showing you guys how to create perfect armor. And the good thing is this is the best armor for every single character, so you only have to make it once and then you can duplicate it. Now, before we get started though, there are quite a few things we are going to need. First of all, you're going to need at least one of every cloth, as well as making sure they are perfect in the effect range, aka max out all of the effects just so we can ensure we get maximum stats possible. Finally, make sure the cloths are all at maximum quality as well, because obviously quality plays a big part in stats. Finally, you are going to want a huge bunch of Electrodes. Ideally, you want 40 plus, because these are going to be what gives us all of our stats. As well as you want a few master levels, again maxed out on quality and effects. Finally, get some puny levers as well, because we're going to need them. Now, one other thing to note is we are going to need some low quality bestial airs and low quality Electrodes. I say quality, but I'm actually on about the element value. So here is an element value of 2, and unfortunately I've still got a 6 element value of the Electrode there, so I'm going to have to make one of these later. But basically these are for the rebuilding process to unlock all of the effects on the armor itself. So in terms of actually crafting the armor, these aren't going to come into play just yet. Anyway, let's take a look at what the best armor is, shall we? So the best armor in the game is going to be the Stark Cologne. However, it is level 47 and its stats aren't that good on its own. So we're gonna basically start off on the low level version of the armor, which is the Leather Protector. This is level 8, and the reason we do this, well, there are two reasons we do this. One, this way we can create a level 8 Stark Cologne rather than level 40. That's going to be super important for the rebuilding process. But last but not least, it's going to be the quantity of items we can add. So as you can see down at the bottom there, it says choose quantity 12 times. And that basically means I can add 12 items into a synthesis. However, if you start on an item and you work your way up through the recipes, you will actually get more and more quantity added on, which is what we really want, because we want to dump in all those Electrodes that we've got into the final item for a massive stat boost. So let's get this show on the road, shall we? So starting off on the Leather Protector, we're just going to dump a normal maxed out cloth in first. For the animal product, we want to use Master Leather. The reason for this is it has 5 attack, 5 defense, and then 3 for everything else. Which means we're going to get 8 total attack and defense, and 3 stats for everything else. So we're going to dump in one of them. Again, make sure these are all maximum quality. Otherwise, you're going to have a bad time later trying to get your quality back. Anyway, with that said, let's carry on moving through. Okay, so now that we've advanced to the next recipe, it's going to ask if you want to synthesize. Absolutely not. We do not want to synth just yet. We want to keep on going through the gear. Okay, so next up we're going to choose the natural cloth. In the cloth section, we're going to be using a perfect Electrode for all plus 5 in stats, and then an extra 5 for defense and speed as well. So again, make sure you use the Electrode there. It's just that little bit of extra stat. Now this is where we get the first problem, which is an old knight emblem. Unfortunately, we do have to use one of these, so I suggest just filtering by quality and sticking in your highest quality one. It's not too bad, you can get that quality back, so don't worry too much about it. Last but not least, we're going to use a perfect bestial air to move on to the next stage. And yes, there are a lot of stages for this, guys. There are a lot of stages. Okay, so once again, we're going to be doing a bestial air, and then we're going to be doing another Electrode. Well, Electrode, sorry, I completely lost my words there. Okay, now for this ore, what we want to do is we actually want one with effect spread, basically. So let's see here, let me just put it on date so that I know where it is. Okay, so this comet stone here has fire and wind, but it actually has effect spread +1. Now, the reason why this is important is because this way we can use this one item then we will skip the ingot there, and then we can just go straight on to the recipe. Now if you want to know where to get all materials with effect spread, basically you have to plant stone seeds out in the garden at the atelier, and as long as the seeds are a high enough level, you can start getting these sorts of materials with effect spread. It doesn't matter what ore material it is, as long as it has like good quality effect spread and it's got enough fire points to move you straight on to the recipe, which requires a puny lever. So with that out of the way, we're moving on, and as you can see down in the bottom, the quantity of items I can put in is really getting up there. So again, we're going to start off with a puny lever now, and then we're going to go on to the water side here, which allows us to move up to the sorcery rows. So for the water, it doesn't really matter what you use really. I'm just going to put in the like water there. It doesn't really matter too much. In effect too, we are going to be using an Electrode again, just to give us that extra little boost. Now, we don't need the defense 15, don't worry about that. The reason we put in the Electrode is simply for the extra stats. It's going to be more beneficial. And of course, we don't get to take those 15 defense points onto the next item anyway, because we're going to use a sorcery rose now, again, maxed out, to move on to the next one, which is the fortress armor. Okay, so once again, keep on just going through slowly until you eventually get here, the goldenite. This one's a bit of a hassle, but you can get some really good high quality goldenite from the stone seeds once again. So definitely go ahead and get some of them, just so you can keep your quality nice and high. Again, last cloth here is going to be the Electrode again. Again, just to max our stats completely as much as possible. Finally, we're going to be using a master lever to move on to the next armor. We're nearly there, guys. We're nearly there. I promise. I promise. Okay, so this one's quite a bit bigger, and we need to get all the way up there. So we're going to start off with another maxed out lever, and then we're going to move on to an Electrode. And unfortunately now we do have to use a spirit. We can't just bypass that. I've not found a way to get any really good high level, well, high quality spirits. So unfortunately you are at the mercy there. That's one reason why you should create everything as high quality as possible. Anyway, we have another cloth. So again, it's of course going to be the Electrode because more stats. And then next up, we need to use 2 master levers here. The reason we're using 2 master levers instead of like just using something like the blue flame ember to open up the next path is because we're going to get the stats basically. We need the elements to open up the next path, but we're going to get the stats from the lever anyway, so we might as well go ahead and do that. And finally, we need 1 more master lever before we can move on to the final item, which is the Start Cologne. So throw in an Electrode and on we go. Okay, so straight off the bat, you can see right now my quantity of items that I can add is 33. And now for this, it's really simple. We're literally just going to throw in absolutely everything here. Like literally every Electrode we have. Now, obviously we can only do 33 maximum, but that's fine. The reason for this is, you see all those all +5 and defense / speed +5? They're all going to stack up. We don't need to worry about getting any of the effects or anything like that, because we're going to get that in the rebuilding stage. As for traits, we're going to be using HP charge ++, defense charge ++, and last but not least, we're going to be using infinite energy. Now, the reason we use infinite energy instead of something like stats charge is we want that stun resistance. And last but not least, let's take a look at those stats, shall we? So that is an extra 372 HP, 275 attack, 610 defense, and 441 speed. However, because it's 99 quality, that is not going to be the final stat, as it were. Because obviously the quality does play a role in the stats, it just doesn't show on the effect sheets. If you want to see the difference it makes, then let's go ahead and go to equip one, shall we? So as you can see right there, my health has just gone up by an extra 400. My attack's gone up by 250. Defense has gone up by over 500. Speed's gone up by about 500 as well. And the equip quality has gone up a bit as well. But yeah guys, that is how you make a perfect armor. But we're not done just yet, because now we need to actually rebuild it and make it truly perfect by getting all the effects. So obviously I have 3 here. We don't care about 2 of these, so we're just going to work on 1. Now this is where things start getting annoying. You see, we basically need to slowly work our way through these effects now, using as lower level items as possible. So for example, this one we need to get a total of 6 water. So I don't have anything with 6 water. Okay, so what I'm going to be doing is I'm just going to use 2 level 3 sorcery roses. Don't worry about quality. Quality does not matter at this point because we cannot change the quality when rebuilding. Now again, we need 6 water total. Unfortunately, I don't have any spirit armors with 6 elements, so we're just going to have to go with 2 level 4s, and then we can advance on and on and on. Now, this is basically a case of you have to try and get your way through everything while staying below your synthesis level, which unfortunately is easier said than done. This is definitely not a nice step at all. So again, we're just going to try and slowly make our way through as quickly as possible. Okay, now obviously I'm already level 48 there, so I am getting quite high up in like actual levels for the armor. But hopefully we can just get through. Hopefully. You know, I'm confident. And considering I haven't done a rehearsal of this, we're gonna find out. I need to use some fire there. Oh yeah, by the way, don't worry about using levers and things like that, because you can't actually add any stats on at this point. Now, I suppose I'll just one-shot it with that. Okay, so we are getting there, but at the same time, the level is also beginning to get up there. Now, for these quality ones, I'm not even going to bother maxing them out. I'm just going to move on, because I want to get the effects more than anything. And hopefully, I can just get there. I need wind 5. We'll use a lever. Okay, so I'm level 91, and I've got all the effects now. I just don't have all of the rolls. So let's see if I can go ahead and clip them in. Well, that'll put me too high. That's going to put me too high as well. Yeah, it looks like I'm not going to be able to get all the effects, unfortunately. What you would need to do is basically create a bunch of low-level cloths here, and eventually you will be able to get through. Unfortunately, I didn't make my low-level Electrodes, so I don't have a low-level, like, electric cloth. So I've basically just got to settle. It's not a problem, though. Like, it's not too big of a deal. We're still going to hit max level on the rolls anyway. So, again, it's not that big of a deal. I am going to take Dragon off there, though, and I'm just going to stick in an Electrode, simply for the defense level. And then we're just going to craft it. Again, we are going to keep the HP charge, defense charge, and infinite energy. And there we go. We now have a perfect armor. Well, semi-perfect. It is a shame that we didn't get the extra 2 rolls, but that's not the end of the world, because you're gonna cap them out with the accessories anyway. So let's just go ahead and throw on this perfect one, shall we? And there we go. Let's take a look at the effects. So we have Eternal Darkness Al, increase attack, defense, speed, and status ailment resistance. That is the biggest effect we can get. We have Invincible Exoskeleton, more stun resistance, and heal HP for every action. So we've got some really good passive healing there. Reduce damage by 10% and resist KO 10%. Both very self-explanatory. Reduce damage, it lowers damage coming in by 10%. And last but not least, we have resist KO, which means, well, we have a 10% chance of not getting one shot basically. But that is it, guys. That is where I'm going to end this video. Remember though, if you do want more of those armors, all you have to do is simply duplicate them at the duping machine, and you're done that way. But yeah guys, that is where I'm going to end this one. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. If you have, then be sure to hit that like button and leave a comment down below. And of course, if you're new to the channel, then make sure you hit that subscribe button and hit the bell icon as well to turn notifications on, just so you're notified about all my future content. As always though everyone, thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.